Welcome to Business Reporter's Digital Economy campaign. Across industries, product developers and manufacturers are under pressure to get to market faster, improve quality, and streamline every stage of production. AI promises smarter design, quicker decisions, and more efficient processes. But here's the catch. Can AI really deliver if it's running on messy, unreliable data? Many companies don't realize they're already sitting on a goldmine of product information that could power the next wave of AI. The real challenge isn't a lack of data, but knowing how to organize it, trust it, and put it to work. In this interview, Iora Berry, Vice President of AI Product Management at PTC, challenges us to rethink the role of product data. He explains how building the right product data foundation can turn AI from a buzzword into real business value. Iora, welcome to the Digital Economy campaign. Iora, everyone's talking about generative AI at the moment, but from your perspective, why is there so much excitement around it, particularly in the enterprise software space?
Well, there's two big reasons. One is about the technology. There's a technology leap happening right now. And two is about the capabilities. It's a booster. So on the technology side, if you were to flash back 3-4 years ago and go implement AI, in particular your own AI models like machine learning, you would need to have a lot of data, tons of expertise, and compute power to build that proprietary AI model. With generative AI, it's a commodity that's available. We can subscribe to it with hyperscalers like Microsoft or native AI companies like OpenAI. So that technology affordance of going into market, applying AI to use cases is a huge leap. The second part is capabilities. Generative AI is really good at processing language. And as you know, we use language every day. It's in our processes. It's in our documents that we write. It's stored in the business objects that we work with every day. And it affords for some key capabilities. So searching for information really quickly, analyzing content, generating content. And what's very interesting is those capabilities can also enable intelligence. So we're having these smart software systems that have intelligence. They're called AI agents, and they can do work for us. They can automate business systems. They can assist you on your work, whether it's upstream in requirements management or in building CAD models or downstream how technicians deliver their services. It's a big change, both on the technology front as well as the capabilities.
Now, we know that the quality of data impacts the quality of AI results. And managing data is not a new issue. However, is there something that product manufacturing companies should be doing differently in the Gen AI era?
This is essential. You need to have a product data foundation from which you can benefit from AI. What is a product data foundation? It's the data stored in your enterprise system. It's the information that's been structured in your enterprise software. It's the information that has access controls in terms of IP security. It's the data that's in your system that has control logic so that when you go through different workflows, there are steps that are required because of compliance, or this is a costly event, you need to make sure you get it right. So there's all these embedded capabilities in a product data foundation that gives you lots of value today in your software. And now with AI, we can bolt that on top and amplify that value. So in that story of digital transformation and building your product data foundation, it's really important to make sure that you're maturing your data. So going, for example, in PLM, product lifecycle management, moving from document-centric to part-centric PLM, or advancing that to configuration management and change management. Because what you're doing is you're enriching your product data foundation, which enriches the value that the AI can generate for you and your business.
If it takes so much effort to get the data right, what real value does generative AI bring?
We see three primary value creation patterns for Gen AI in product companies. One is scaling knowledge, two is reducing repetition, and three is redefining work. Scaling access to knowledge. This is where most companies are starting. Think of tools like ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot embedded in office workflows, helping employees search, ask questions, and retrieve information. Gen AI can act like a coworker with a photographic memory, able to access and synthesize information across systems instantly. Deloitte research suggests Gen AI can reduce information search time by up to 30%, translating into significant productivity gains. The second one is reducing repetitive work. This is where we start to see measurable productivity improvements. For example, in software development, GitHub Copilot has shown double-digit gains in coding tasks. Similar patterns are emerging in engineering, 3D modeling, requirements authoring and review, design validation. For example, Deloitte reports that Gen AI can reduce time spent on requirements review by up to 50%. These are not just time savings, they free up engineers to focus on high-value work. Number 3 is redefining work. This is the most transformative area. Here, Gen AI doesn't just assist, it automates. AI agents can now execute entire workflows, ingesting, writing, and validating requirements, optimizing CAD for manufacturing, or generating service events with work instructions and tools list. This isn't just about incremental gains, it's about rethinking how work gets done. Gartner predicts that by 2028, 33% of enterprise software will include autonomous AI, automating 15% of day-to-day work.
You'll have many executives who are very on board with this idea, but you'll also have equally skeptics as well, who question the quality, the data, and the cost. Are there unique challenges to implementing Gen AI?
Going forward, there are some new challenges with generative AI, and in particular, that comes back to the AI agents. These AI agents can generate content, and they can put content into your system. So it's critically important that when you implement a use case, that you look at what are those use cases, what's the risk around that AI generating that content, and how do you track and trace that? So for example, in our AI systems that we're building in PTC, anytime an AI implements a change to a business object or a document, that gets stored in the metadata to say, hey, this has been updated by AI on this date, thereby enabling traceability so that when you need to come back and do a review of how this product was implemented, you can see that it was imprinted at this time and had resulted in this change. So you get that auditing trail around AI implementation.
So as you've outlined, in this agentic world, there are some risks, and for organizations, that would mean additional work. For those companies that are sitting on the fence with this, who haven't acted, what is the risk of not implementing these tools?
Yeah, there is a risk if you don't move on AI. It reminds me of a quote from Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. He recently was talking about AI and the impact on the workforce. And he said, AI is not going to replace your job. People who use AI will. And it's the same for organizations. If you don't use AI, you're at risk at being outcompeted by other organizations. So let's unpack that a little bit. If you think about it, AI is a strategic advantage for you. One, you have the product data foundation already going for you because you've been on that journey of putting data into systems and managing your business processes. So you already have a strategic advantage. And what you want to do now is embed AI into your systems to get amplified value, to get increased value. The use cases that we talked about, scaling access to knowledge, reducing repetitive tasks, redefining how we work, which for organizations means increased insights and productivity, which as an outcome results in faster time to market, better quality products, cost savings.
PTC has been working with AI for over a decade. So with that perspective and that knowledge, and given how the Gen AI landscape is evolving, where next?
What's clear is we're going to have intelligence embedded across the value chain, from engineering, manufacturing, and service. And today, PTC has built out the foundations with partners like Microsoft and AWS to have strong technologies paired with that product data foundation, paired with that embedded AI. And recently, we released things in the market such as Onshape AI, ServiceMax AI. We have private previews of Codebeamer and Windchill. Coming down the future is Creo. So lots of technologies available to market to immediately use, and we're going to build on that foundation. And core to that foundation is that next stage of agentic AI, or AI working across the digital thread. So we're investing in areas where agents can work together to solve problems across systems. There's a key point in this future of open ecosystem so that AI can go across and access those product data foundations in different systems of records. So for example, we're working on a project around change management where we're building ERP and PLM agents that work together to reduce the time to change a product, which in business sense can sometimes be a burn rate of millions of dollars per day. the time it takes to implement a change because you're waiting to get something out to market, the cost of operations of all the different departments running that system, it's very costly. So any reduction in time is a tremendous opportunity. So those ERP and PLM agents, they can work together to do an impact analysis. They can recommend tasks to go execute. They can review the quality of work. That's the future too, is AI across the digital thread.
We've covered a lot of ground today, Iora. If there's one message that you'd want our audience to leave with, what would it be?
The good news is you're not starting from scratch. You are using enterprise software, and that's providing your product data foundation. Structured data, controlled data, lifecycle state data, all of that is rich data for AI. Invest more into your workflows so that you have good control logic that the AI agents know how to operate with. Improve the robustness and richness of your data so that AI can do its job more effectively.
That was Iora Berry, Vice President of AI Product Management at PTC.